Alright, so the goal for today's lesson is I need you to walk out of here being able to say that I can construct an equilateral triangle, copy a line segment, and copy an angle. So the vocabulary we're going to be using today is construction and equilateral triangle. Can someone tell me with pride what is the definition of a construction? Okay, yes, what do you got?
To use many tools, and which is a compass, pencil, and straight edge.
Perfect, awesome, thank you, and thank you for speaking with pride. Alright, so we're going to say for construction is, we're going to say to use tools such as a compass, straight edge, and pencil to draw a picture. Okay, so take a moment, copy that down. To use tools such as a compass, straight edge, and pencil to draw a picture. Okay. Our next vocabulary word is an equilateral triangle. Can someone tell me with pride what the definition of an equilateral triangle is? Yes, Caesar. What do you got?
An equilateral triangle is a triangle that has all equal sides.
Awesome. Thank you, Caesar. Yes, you are correct. An equilateral triangle is a triangle that has all equal sides. Okay? Now, equal is a math term because of the equal sign. Do we know another term that we would use that means equal as well in math? Congruent. Awesome. Yes, congruent. Okay? So our goal is to make a triangle that has 3 congruent sides. Okay, so those are the two definitions that we're going to be using for today. Alright, so to construct an equilateral triangle, all we have to do is follow 4 easy steps. Now the first step in constructing an equilateral triangle is to draw a line segment. Okay. Now, when we draw this line segment, what we're actually drawing is the base of our triangle. Okay? So the first part we're going to draw is the base. That is step 1. Alright? So what I want to do is I want to construct today for our example, I want to construct an equilateral triangle that has side lengths of 1 inch. Okay, so I'm going to construct an equilateral triangle that has side lengths of 1 inch. So step 1 says draw a line segment. I need to draw a line segment that measures 1 inch. So I'm going to grab my compass and I'm going to make sure that I'm looking at the inches side. Notice that it goes from 0 to 5 inches. And I'm going to draw a line segment that is exactly 1 inch long. So make sure, one thing you want to make sure that you're doing, you're holding it, draw 1 inch. So I'm just drawing 1 inch from 4 to 5. Okay, and that is step 1. So draw 1 inch, and I'm just drawing mine from, actually 4 to 3, I'm sorry, 4 to 3. Okay, so that is the base of my triangle, and that is step 1. Alright, so step 2. Step 2 is to measure the line segment with your compass. Okay, measure the line segment with your compass. Okay, so this is what you need to do. You need to take your compass And you see the little part, this little plastic part? There's like a little bullseye in the middle of that plastic part. And you want it to be on either this side or this endpoint of your line segment. So either endpoint, just place it on it. So I'm just going to do it on the left hand side of my line segment. And notice how the line segment, the endpoint, is right there in my bullseye. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is, holding it down with my finger, my left finger, I'm going to measure it with this part of the compass. So I'm going to put my pencil in this hole right here, and I'm going to line it up with the other endpoint. Okay, so I'm scooting it over until the endpoint is there. So when you're looking at your compass now, you have one endpoint right here in the bullseye and the other endpoint right here. Okay, that's step 2, is to measure your compass. Now, you're not going to change your compass at all from this point. Okay, it's going to stay this exact length. Now, what's the purpose of measuring the line segment with our compass? The reason that we're doing this is so that the two other sides of the triangle are congruent to one another. Okay? So in order for it to be an equilateral triangle, it has to have 3 equal sides. So that is step 2. Measure the line segment with your compass. Alright, step 3 is to draw 2 arcs. Draw 2 arcs. Now, if you remember from step 2, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to measure the line segment with your compass. Alright? Now, what I want you to do from here is to hold down the bullseye and putting your pencil at the other end of the line segment, I want you to draw an arc. Okay? Draw one arc like that. Okay? And you're going to lift your compass and you're going to turn it so that the bullseye is on the other end of the line segment now. Okay? And over here in this hole, you should still see the other end of the line segment. Okay? And you're going to draw the second arc. Now notice, the arcs intersect somewhere above the line segment. Okay? That is step 2. Alright, finally, the last step. The last step is to connect the endpoints. Connect the endpoints. Okay? Connect the endpoints. Now, what are we connecting? What we're connecting is, if you remember the original line segment, that was our base. Okay? Our base has 2 endpoints. Where the 2 arcs intersected up here, that's another endpoint. So go ahead and place a point at the arc's intersection. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your straight edge and you're going to connect this endpoint to the intersection of the arcs. Okay? And you're going to do the same thing with the other side. You're going to connect this endpoint with the intersection of the arcs. And just like that, you have created an equilateral triangle. Alright? Now, if you want to kind of go back and see how accurate you are, you can definitely take the straight edge part of your ruler and measure it. Remember, the base was supposed to be 1 inch, so I'm going to label it 1 inch. This other side over here is supposed to be 1 inch, and yeah, it looks like 1 inch. And then the last side was also supposed to be 1 inch, and it definitely is. Okay? So if you did your construction correctly, you should have an equilateral triangle with side lengths of 1 inch each.